What's up, guys? Welcome back. Very excited to interview this man who has been a distant mentor and has now recently been a little bit closer to me. I've spent a little bit of time with him over the last 4 years, watched him grow and watched him even adapt and evolve during the last few years, which is very interesting. I'm very excited for you guys to hear the knowledge from the man himself, Dan Fleyshman. What's up, brother?
Just happy to be here.
Thank you. So for everyone that doesn't know who Dan Fleyshman is, who is Dan Fleyshman?
I am a philanthropist that focuses on my charity a lot. I'm an angel investor in 43 companies. I raised $56 million for 11 other companies outside of my personal investments. And I just like to help businesses scale. So I have an influencer agency, spend around $60 million with influencers. And I like restaurant chains and sports card chains. And I have a zoo called the Wild Jungle. I do military training at my ranch. I just have a lot of different moving parts in my world. So there's not like one main thing. But mostly I'd say is I try to find businesses and people that I can help scale.
Love that. So I was in your Mastermind Avengers, came to all the events, absolutely loved them. And the connections that you had and have were so compelling. So most people, they say, and I've learned this from you and from people that you've put on stage in front of us to add value to us, is to focus on one thing at a time. So as now, in the age that you're at now, in the season that you're in now, you're doing a lot of things. What did you do first? And and what would you say, is that necessary to do one thing in the beginning, or can you actually now handle more because you've got more systems and processes?
Exactly. So my first decade, from 17 years old to 27, exactly 10 years, I literally resigned on the 10-year anniversary, was one thing. My next company, Victory Poker, was one thing for 3 years. So for the first 13 years of my life, from 17 to 30, I literally did one thing and one thing. But then, when I lost Victory Poker, I lost $65 million overnight. And so I didn't want to do one thing ever again. I had PTSD, right? You lose 65, right actually here, 2 minutes from here, is where it all happened. April 15th at 10:10 in the morning, I'll never forget. And so that was my PTSD moment of I'm going to become an angel investor in a bunch of different companies. I'm going to start masterminds, throw live events, start speaking, my charity. Everything started from when I lost everything overnight. And so I don't want to do one thing ever again. But I will say, the reason I can do more than one thing is I'm not the one doing it. Every company I invest into has a CEO. I call him a quarterback. Every event that I have has someone running it. Every charity has someone running it. So all the crazy things you see in my life and all my world, it has a CEO or a quarterback running it. And so I'm still doing one main thing, which is overseeing the squad, overseeing the team, overseeing all the moving parts and players. But ultimately, I don't run any more than one company.
I've had a lot of struggle with building teams. I've built some very successful sales teams in my career, in the process of building integrators right now, leaders around the companies and brands that I'm working in. How do you, I guess, identify certain key, what are some key attributes that you find with people, not the quarterbacks, not the companies, we'll get in that later, but with the people that are behind the scenes, the people that are running everything, what are those things that you're looking for?
So I need people that I call ride or die. That they are going to work, and when it's 5:01 p.m., they're not out the door. If it's 6:04 p.m. or 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. and they need to stay for something, they want to do it, they're not resentful for doing it. If they are, or they need to leave at 4:59, that's not for me. It's just not going to work because business is not 9 to 5. It's just not. And so I'm looking for people that actually want to do the things they do. And the people that are behind the scenes or working the companies, I want people that are working for my competitors or working in the industry, have been working in the thing, or fresh slate. I'm the one that trains them. Me and my team or my sales team or my sales manager are the one that train them, or me and my operations manager, whoever it is the one training them fresh slate. Otherwise, I need them to come from something that's a competitor. And so the best way to find them is literally at conventions, conferences, networking, etc. And it's typically someone that can't move up in their position at the company that they're in. They're the ones that are open to making a move. They're the ones that are having something to prove at the next company they work for because they didn't get that shine on them at the company that they were at, even though they were working hard. And so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people that actually care about the thing, have experience, or are willing to be ride or die.
Love that. Yeah, ride or die. I mean, loyalty is everything. And I've seen you invest a lot of time into people that you've had on your stages that in turn end up backstabbing you. And I really want to not go into the super details of it, but I want to know more. My secret is this. I've learned more from billionaires' failures than I have from their successes.
For sure.
And some of the things that I would sit back and when I was in my early solar years, I would watch the leaders, watch these managers, watch the owners from a distance in 3-4 rows back, and just study what they were doing, how they would react, how they would deliver, some good news, bad news, stuff that I honestly thought was BS news. How do you deal with, or how do you work through and stay mentally on in alignment with where you're going when those things that like for instance COVID with Everbowl,
yep.
Like how do you, and that was probably like the biggest question that I wanted to ask you was like how did you stay mentally fit during that time?
Yep, I call it stay calm in the chaos. Staying calm in the chaos, I make it sound easy because it's not easy. However, the alternative is destruction, right? If we're on an airplane and the pilot has an issue going on and he starts screaming bloody murder, what would you do if you were a passenger?
I'd probably freak out.
We would all freak out, right? And so if the pilot can't stay calm in the chaos, what's going to happen to everybody else on the team? All the passengers that are along for the ride, which is your sales team, your staff, your COO, your CMO, your secretary, everyone a part of the company, you're the pilot. And so I've always stayed calm in the chaos because if I freak out, or I start posting drama on social media, or I start pointing fingers, or I start screaming what's going to happen to everybody behind me, on the side of me, on top of me? Like everyone else around me is going to freak out because I'm the captain. And so I've always stayed calm in the chaos. When the whole world shut down on March 20th, 2020, we had just raised $5 million, months before. And we're scaling from 17 stores to 23 stores to 25 stores, and then boom, the whole freaking world shuts down, and especially restaurants. But Jeff Fenster stayed calm in the chaos. He went and signed more leases. I introduced him to Todd Abrams from Icon Meals. Todd got him on the phone with QVC. Todd taught him about how to ship frozen items, frozen goods, because Icon Meals, that's what they do. All of a sudden, 90,000 acai packs were frozen, and so the employees got more jobs to work on for Everbowl. Started shipping those. QVC, Jeff starts doing 150,000 per episode every 11 minutes. We couldn't spell QVC before that when it comes to Everbowl, right? Yeah. Why would you even think about that? But he stayed calm in the chaos, figured out how to ship frozen packs, go on the biggest show on the planet that we don't even think about anymore, right. QVC, goes and does like $7 million in sales on the show, like staying calm in the chaos compared to all the other restaurateurs, closed down stores, freaked out, canceled their leases, fired everyone, cried on the corner. And rightfully so for some of them, because it's scary what to do. When on the media is like 2 weeks till we find a cure. 2 weeks became 2 years. Restaurants typically don't have more than 1 or 2 months to be able to survive, right? And saved up money in the piggy bank. Well, we raised a couple million more dollars, did millions of dollars in revenue from the QVC stuff, signed all these leases. More investors came in. Like things happened because we stayed calm in the chaos. And so these things happen. You've seen drama situations, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. I just stay calm through it all because I expect some of it to happen. I expect some things to fail. I expect some people to change up on me. I expect drama to happen. I expect lawsuits to happen. I've had 15 lawsuits and I've won 15 lawsuits. I'm going to have 10 more lawsuits, 20 more lawsuits. It's going to keep happening because that's what happens in business. And so I stay calm in these situations and I just have the facts. I prove the facts and I win. When the drama happens, I have my receipts. I don't post them publicly. My job is to be the best person I can be. If I do that part, I can sleep at night. And if I mess up something, I can say that publicly too. I don't mind messing up because it happens. Nothing's going to be perfect, especially when you have a lot of moving parts. The difference is I over-communicate. I talk in extreme detail with extreme receipts, good, bad, or ugly. And I always tell people, like, when they say all these stupid numbers, like, I did $100 million in sales. No, you didn't. So when I say something like Cars and Coffee did 36 million in sales, it's because you can log into my Shopify account and my Bank of America account, my Wells Fargo account, and see 36 million in sales. And I don't need to say that we did 50 or 60 or 100 million because 36 is cool. And if it was 3.6, I'd say 3.6. because the reality is cool. When people have to say all these silly numbers, 100 million and 1 billion, come on, man. Like it's such a tiny amount of humans in history that have done those type of numbers, right? And so when I talk about 60 million influencer spend, it's not 61 or 64, it's 60. Because that's what it is. When I say it's 110,000 paid posts, it's because there's exactly 110,000. And I don't need to say it's 250,000 or 500,000. And so I just see a lot of people that they're causing their own craziness in their head. They keep trying to live up to the Joneses, but the Joneses aren't real. They're just making up numbers and making up situations. So anyways, so my long-winded answer is stay calm in the chaos.
Yeah, no, I learned that from you, and I never, I don't want to say hated, but it was just like I despised when people would say, oh, I did, 100 million or whatever, 20 million. I'm like, gross, what was your net at the end of the day?
Right.
And for me, I did come up from the bottom. So when I saw that and realized that it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep, it's an identity issue. It's an identity problem that we have to, I have to be cool because Dan will respect Mikey Lucas if I say I did X, Y, or Z. No, I've only raised just over $3 million in my fund.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And it was hard as crap.
Right.
It was very hard. But, it is what it is. And I would rather stay there and not lie or manufacture the number because technically I can because the value of it is more. Sure. Which we'll get into. I actually started my fund because of your event. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you know that or not, but I'll get into that later. It's an identity thing. I think social media has become a platform for everyone's strengths rather than everyone's weaknesses, and I've done my best to make sure that I use social media as a platform for my weaknesses, not just my strengths, because what you do is very hard and very complicated, and I can see not just the stress, but the in theory chaos that's going through your mind, trying to solve as many problems as you possibly can. At the event yesterday, Kevin O'Leary was talking about, you have to be a great business owner like yourself, you have to be able to solve problems. Sure. The famous Elon quote is, if you want to start a company, it's like chewing on glass and staring in the abyss. And it's funny because in the solar industry where I came from, everyone wanted to go start their own solar company. Right. Everyone wanted to go start their own installer.
Sure.
And I always say, just because you can throw the ball 60 yards spiral does not mean you're supposed to be the quarterback. You weigh, 360 pounds and you're 6'7", you're a left tackle. And you got to play the role that you're in. But there was something that you said to me in a private meeting, and we were in the back of Cole Hatter's group. You came and spoke to us, and it stuck to me. I was in the middle of getting a business stolen from me. Handshake deal, nothing on paper. And when the paper came out, it was, if you're a good little boy, Mikey, we'll give you 33% of this company. And at that point, with wise counsel, obviously I left. You told me one thing that, and I'm just paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly what you said, but I want you to kind of go into it if you don't mind. You basically told me something along the lines of, only talk about the good. Never say anything negative. And it's so countercultural to what everyone does now. The 99, they always talk about the negative. I was with people last night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so frustrating at the end of the night where I was like, dude, like you're like ruining the vibe over $100 that you lost that you cannot find. Right. I'm like, please, like, can we just talk about something positive? I'm not like a positive guy. I'm not, whatever. I am a positive guy, but I choose to focus on things that are going well because, as you know very well, how hard it is in especially this the last really 4 or 5 years that we've had. But what did you mean by that when people, you said when people are asking you how everything's going, you basically said whatever is good, hyper focus on that. Do you remember that?
Yep. So people feed off of drama. They want it.
Yeah.
It's the reason that National Enquirer is still the #1 selling magazine at every single grocery store. Even though everyone knows that Tom Cruise is not dating an alien. And whatever the cover is of that National Enquirer, that tabloid. For some reason, people have this obsession with drama. That's why reality shows do so well. That's why The Real Housewives does so well. That's why so many of these shows do so well, because people like to feed off the drama. gossip about it or talk about it for a day or two, and then move on to the next piece of drama that I call it fake care. What do they fake care about next? So I pass around what I know that they're going to talk about or not talk about, the things that are good. I don't talk about the drama stuff. I don't feed them. I call it don't feed the trolls. I don't feed the trolls information for them to go gossip about bad stuff about me or my friend or the person that screwed me over or the person that didn't follow through or blah, 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 because then that's connected to me. When it's someone else that messed up, but the story came from me, then now it's connected to me that person messed up. Why do I want that? I want to tell them the good things. And they're either going to gossip about the good things or say nothing. So I'm either going to have nothing happen or something good happen. I'm not going to have something bad happen. What is the benefit for me to go talk crap about that person or that deal or that thing when that's just going to be connected to me now? And so I don't play the broken telephone game. And by the way, whatever I tell them, that is going to get changed too, because people add their little spice on top of the story. And so I just don't tell people the bad stories because I don't want the gossip spreading around.
I think that was the most important part. That was the breakthrough that I got. You said that they're going to talk about whatever you say. So give them, and you said the telephone thing, give them the information that you want to be told out. Now, I did have a question. I had a follow-up on that is, not necessarily who, but who do you talk to about with the negative stuff? Or is it coaches? Is it someone that's not in what you're doing? What do you do? When you need to talk through something, what do you do?
I have a mentor who was the founder of Marvel Studios. Sold his company for $4 billion to Disney. He's the godfather of my child. For the last 15 years is who I have like the hard talks with or the big talks with. I don't talk to him about the little stuff in between. But literally just last week, I went to his house and sat there for hours and hours and talked through the big things. I'm going to do this whole new thing. This major thing happened. This is going on in the background. Those are the big things. My CEO, my lawyer, and my accountant. The people that are dealing with the hard stuff, CEO, lawyer, and accountant, I call them my four horsemen. Mentor, CEO, lawyer, accountant. I talk to the four horsemen mostly. Now, there's certain friends I can talk to about the bad stuff, and I actually know that they might still gossip too. But they're guys that have been through the war with me, or they've been through things, and I know they can handle it, and I want to actually hear their opinion. Whether I'm going to take it or not, I don't know. It depends on the person or the character. But even my own inner staff and circle, only certain characters know the drama or bad stuff or headaches or things that are going on, because I want their mind clear and focused, because what are they going to help me with on this situation, right? But yeah, I do speak about these things, so I don't want to make it seem like, I just don't talk about it at all. I do, but I talk about people that are going to put some value into it. You tell your friend or someone at the bar or someone in your industry about something bad or drama, how are they going to help you? All they can do is hurt you. Literally, the only thing they can do is hurt you and gossip about it and talk about it, etc. They're not going to give you any valuable information or insight. And so unless I'm talking to someone that I believe can actually help my situation or give me real insight, I don't bring up bad stuff.
Very interesting. Yeah, the bad stuff is like cancer, and as you mentioned, it spreads like wildfire.
For sure. And
Western culture seems to be so addicted to it, as you said with the magazines. It's true. I guess I know why, but the most successful people that I've seen, including yourself, not just focus, but you don't hear that. And it's interesting because I've had to, in the course of the last 5 years, transitioning out of solar into the private equity world, I've had to deal with a lot. I mean, the event we were at yesterday, I wasn't allowed to be at the year before that and the year before that because somebody dragged my name through the dirt.
Sure.
And it was nice because I was like, hey, this is an opportunity for me to go and be so good they can't deny me. And it's so interesting because I stayed calm and I said, what would my mentor do? And stayed calm through it and just said, and remembered a quote that I used to listen to all the time, because people, when I speak, before I could really articulate my words and be purposeful with what I wanted to say, people misunderstand me a lot back then. Probably still now too, a little bit, but a lot more back then. And it was confusing because I was like, why don't you understand what I'm trying to communicate here, right? And it was it was interesting to see how, because I anticipated, like you said, I heard that from John C. Maxwell years ago at an event up in Utah, and somebody asked him a question, about whatever it was, and he basically said, you have to anticipate that things are going to go wrong. I forget what the law is, but it's like, anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Sure.
And it's how you react in that moment is a determining factor of whether you, like you said, it's just complete chaos and destruction, or you can make it through. And I think one of the main reasons why I was able to push through that, learning from guys like yourself, was because I had not just my own life to take care of. I had other people that I was like, I have to figure this thing out. Like this is not good. I have to figure this thing out. And so it's inspiring to hear and see and watch you from a distance. Yeah, it's a really cool. I love that you're able to stay calm and anticipate the things like that happening. Like you're saying, 20 lawsuits. I mean, it's like it's got to be taxing on the soul. So let me transition really quick. I've got some questions that I wrote down and had some people send in because I knew I was going to be interviewing you. So one of them was, you've evolved through several phases: entrepreneur, investor, philanthropist. When did you have to reinvent yourself and shift your identity?
When the poker site went down, when the poker industry went down, that was a big shift because 10 years of being the Who's Your Daddy energy drink and clothing guy, and then a couple of years of being the Victory Poker guy and all over television and building up this big brand, and then boom, online poker shut down. That was a major shift because I woke up the next morning like, all right, I just paid back 41,000 players. I'm the good guy in the space, but there's no more online poker. What now? What do I do today? And so I just went into overdrive mode. And that mode was, who needs what I have in my brain and my experience? So I started consulting for 4 land-based casinos because I just ran a poker site for years. And poker was still legal all over the world, just not in America. I started the charity because I wanted to go full on in the charity. I started Elevator Nights, my free event, which I still throw 14 years later. Like, everything started was from the brain reshift. So losing $65 million company overnight sucked, but I wouldn't be who I am. And the butterfly effect is charity, businesses, whether it's Everbowl, sports card stores, influencer agency, all these things, masterminds, none of them would have been created if I was still the poker guy. And so the greater good was there. I lost this, $65 million, but so much more stuff was created because of that. And what would I be doing right now if poker was still going on? Would I just have a $1 billion poker company 14 years later? Maybe. But then would I like it compared to all the interesting things I've done along the way, along the journey? And the masterminds, how many people's lives were impacted because of those people got better and they did deals. And 14 couples that are now married because of me that have children, and what happened there. Like the butterfly effect of me starting masterminds events, free events, and charities compared to the poker site. I just think of a lot like I don't know how you say it, like the different paths in life, like the time, whatever, like Elon Musk could probably break it down better, but like the different roads and that could have happened if poker was still around. And so I think about the butterfly effect. If I would have had a poker site, millions of people would have been playing poker on my site. Some would have lost money, some would have made money, some would have, it would have affected relationships and time. And like so many things would have happened because people would have been playing my site for 7 hours and skipping out on dinners or school. Or like the butterfly effect to me of my inertia, my energy is very fascinating. I think about it a lot. And that's also why I do so many things. I want to create as many different butterfly effects as possible by impacting a lot of different people's lives.
That's astounding, dude. That's profound. It's wild. When it comes to you switching completely industries, rebuilding, being known as, the clothing guy, then the energy drink guy, and then the poker guy, that's something that I went through the last 4 years, and you're really obviously gigantic. I mean, your books around branding and social media. Did you think that you were going to be a social media guy?
So I liked social media right out the gate, right? Even with the poker site, I was doing social media. With the energy drink, we did the first NASCAR with energy drinks. I was doing MySpace back then. And so I've been doing social media since the beginning of time because it's free and it's easy. It's on your phone. And I've just been a part of every evolution of social media. I didn't know I was going to open an agency until I had to, right? Until the poker site was down. I wasn't planning on opening an agency. I was doing a lot of social media, and I was getting money for Kylie Jenner, getting money for Tyga, getting money for influencers and people. And I was paying Amber Rose to post about Fashion Nova, and then I would make some money in between. And so I was just doing deals for Fit Tea and those initial products that you see on social media. And so it was just an evolution, right? Fit Tea or Fashion Nova or a brand would give me a budget. I would pay celebrities and influencers. Lyft and Postmates and DraftKings started paying me because they saw me do it for Fit Tea. And it just kind of evolved as I was doing it. And so that's how I became the social media guy.
How did you get that first initial deal if you weren't the social media guy or an agency yet? What did that look like?
I was investing in companies. So I was investing as an angel investor. And I was telling them, hey, brand, let's pay some influencer celebrities. Influencer wasn't really a word, but let's pay some influencer celebrities. And so I started doing these deals. And then they're like, can you spend more money for us? Like spend $100K or $200K or $500K? Sure. But if you're going to wire me that money, I need an LLC, a corporation. So I started my agency. And then word spread because I was paying some of these celebrities and rappers and business people and models. I wasn't their manager, but then they would tell brands about me, and then it just kind of happened.
Seems like the main focus was just result. So were some of those free at first?
For sure.
Yeah. Walk me through that. Why were you willing to do things for free then to get the results and to show what you have now?
I'm still willing to do it for free now. I speak at events for $25K, $50K. I speak at a lot of events for $0K. I speak at a lot of events for free.
Yeah.
Because my friends are throwing it, or it's an ally throwing it, or it's just a big crowd, a big audience that I want to be on. So I still do lots of deals for free. I still make connections for free. I still do deals for free. I still do lots of things for free. I do consulting for free. I have people that pay me $100,000 for one-on-one coaching, and I have people that I coach for free because I want them to become better in life. I have people that I meet that are in really tough situations, and I'll sit there and teach them as much as I can or help them with things. And other people donate $100,000 to my charity to be coached. I do both. And so the free thing to me is if I believe it can help someone, if I believe that that person's actually going to do it, meaning they're not an asshole, they're not asking me questions, and then I tell them and then they don't go do it. I hate that. And so I don't help assholes. I help people that I know can actually do the thing and want to do the thing. And in between doing things for free, people will pay you, right? If I do deals for free for influencer agencies, people will end up paying me because they have bigger budgets or they want to get that celebrity or brand. If I speak at certain events for free, other people will want to pay me to speak, right? So my whole life, and I will continue to do this for the next 50, 100 years, however long I'm here, I will do plenty of things for free, and I will get paid because of it. And I don't regret or resent the things that are free. I'm flying to Denver today to go speak for free. But that person also donated $100,000 to my charity last year, $100,000 to my charity literally a month ago. And so not only do I speak for free, I bring them members to their mastermind that pay them $33,000 each. I don't take a commission. I'm trying to help them because they help my charity. And if he didn't do any of that stuff, I still would go speak for free.
It seems that people are more focused on commission, override, royalty, and I haven't had one situation where I've made $1 sending multiple sales reps to all these other solar companies. Not one time. I could have made hundreds of thousands of dollars with the results. Some of these guys are multi-year award-winning sales reps. I never. That's just who I am, and I love that about you. That you'll do things for free, and you'll invest your time. I mean, you're here talking with me. I didn't have to pay you. Thank you.
Some of those people, some of those deals you did are for commerce. There's nothing wrong with you taking commission. Right. If you're like, hey, this is the all-star rep from pest control, wants to move to solar. Hey, solar company, I got the guy that's doing $2 million over here. He's crushing it, blah, 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 blah. That's okay to take commission or an override, right? But there's other times where you're like, hey, Johnny, meet Robert, and then 4 months later they hire them. Who cares? That's great that you did that, but you didn't do it for commerce. And so what I say that means is if I know I'm doing something for commerce and it's for a company or business that I know is going to help make them money, I have no emotion or ego to not want to take a commission. I'm happy to take a commission.
Sure.
Sometimes I make them donate to my charity. Sometimes I make them pay my agency. I'm doing that for commerce. Hey, you're going to do $100,000 here and spend it over here. This business will pay me 5 or 10%. Great. Other times, hey, this person meet this person, and maybe you guys can work something out. I don't take a commission. And so it just depends on scenarios. And there's been times I introduce this person, Mikey, go meet this person, they go do tens of millions of dollars. Great. I don't care. I'm happy that it happened. Hopefully that they think about me when my charity comes around, my toy drive comes around. But I'm not expecting them to pay me commission or owe me a favor. I did it because that person should meet that person, and I do that every day of my life. Literally every day I do group chats of introductions. I've never missed a day ever, by the way. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Every single day, hey, Mikey, meet this person. Hey, Mikey, meet this person. Hey, Mikey, meet this person. And sometimes it works out. Sometimes you make lots of money. Sometimes they make babies. Lots of things happen from the introductions. I don't feel like I'm owed anything from them outside of the fact that if I do send the bat signal, hey, I'm doing my toy drive, hey, I'm doing my Thanksgiving food drive, I would hope that they act. I'm not saying they have to go cut a big check, but I need them to act energy-wise, post about the charity, do something, because I do feel indebted from that part, but I don't feel indebted that they owe me actual money.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, a lot less transactional and more just value-driven. Which I wish that more people would do it that way instead of it being, all about what am I going to get off of this. It's just if you can help enough people get what they want, you'll have everything that you need type of mindset that you have. Most people chase success to feel safe and validated. When did you realize that success without fulfillment wasn't enough?
I've watched a lot of friends buy a lot of cool stuff and become numb to it a few weeks later. I watched them with this humongous passion to get the Lamborghini or get the private jet or get the yacht. And guess what? The Lamborghini is at the dealership. The private jet's being fixed for 3 months. There's issues on the yacht. This is happening. This didn't happen with the charter company. And they get to this thing that they got it, and sometimes it becomes a liability or frustration. Other times they get it, and then they don't drive the Lamborghini. They drive their Ford or their Tesla or their Range Rover, and the Lamborghini sits there next to the other Lamborghini and the other Ferrari that they bought because they wanted 3 of them, and they don't even have any emotion to them. They don't bring them up anymore. They don't care about them because they got the thing. And so I think it's interesting for someone to have motivation or wants to get that 1 or 2 things, for them to feel it and experience it, because no matter how many podcasts I say this on, they're going to have to go through some things themselves. However, I can tell you without a shot of a doubt, your 4th watch will not matter to you whatsoever. At all. Your 4th car will not matter to you even a little bit after a few weeks. Not even a little bit. Not even 1%. You will feel nothing. And that's where it becomes empty for people. Because then they're like, well, wait, what am I making all this money for? Why did I go knock on 3,000 doors to make $250,000 this summer and sweat my ass? Like, why did I go through that if I made $250,000 and I can't go buy the watch or the thing? That's where it becomes investing, charity, family, friends, and experiences. You will never regret taking your family and friends to Cabo. You will never regret going on a road trip to Aspen or Utah or Phoenix, Arizona, or to the zoo or to a trip with friends. Like, never, ever, ever. Because that money is for an experience. That is things that you will remember when you're older. That's the things that you have, the pictures and videos that you post on social media. Those are things that are interesting. You will never regret donating $500 to someone's homeless shelter or helping a single mother with 2 kids that can't pay for something, giving her $200 or $2,000 or $20,000, whatever the amount is. Ever, 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 ever. You will oftentimes regret the 4th watch and the 4th car.
That's deep. I think you're right when you say this all the time, and you said it on stage last night too. There's nothing inherently evil about wanting 3 Ferraris or 3 APs or Rolexes. There's nothing inherently evil in that, but it's shallow, and it's not going to lead to. It's not going to actually give you it might give you an injection of I'm
endorphins?
cool now.
Yeah, you'll get endorphins for a week.
Yeah. I
I don't know one single person that cares about their car a month later. They just drive it to McDonald's and Chipotle the same way.
Yep.
They literally don't care about it at all. None of them. Zero. And we've got lots of mutual friends and lots of different people we look up to and what we've seen buy hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stuff. Zero of them, actual zero, have any emotion to those things after the fact, once they've gotten it. And so there's like a theory or quote, I don't know how you say it, but basically, services rendered lose their value after they've been rendered. And so someone gets the thing that they've been wanting, and by the way, sadly, this is why we have a high divorce rate. You would have done anything to get that girl. You remember that girl you met 7 years ago that you're married to now? You would have done anything when you saw her at the restaurant or the bar or at college, and then we get the girl, and then a year or two later, she's just next to us in bed. She's just at the house. We don't text her back as often because we become numb to it, compared to actually appreciating the girl or guy next to you. And so, unfortunately, a lot of things in our society happen that way. We get the thing that we wanted so desperately, we would have done anything to get it, and then we don't appreciate it there. People would go buy Super Bowl tickets, and they're at the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, and they're looking down at their phone during the Super Bowl. They're on their phone scrolling through Instagram, which will be there when they leave 3 hours later, instead of enjoying the experience. Oftentimes, people just want to get the check mark. I got the girl. I got the car. I got tickets to that event. And they get to that nightclub, they spend $10,000 on the table for that nightclub, and they sit there on their phone, scrolling through other people's lives. And so I look at things and I value and appreciate them, and so that it doesn't fade away, and so that I do want the thing. And so if I don't, I'm quick to remove it from my life.
This is really deep. Let's go a little bit deeper into that. I think people that I talk to a lot, I get the feeling that they're thinking, well, easy for you to say you have the car, the watch, you're able to go, to Montauk or to Portugal, Europe, you're able to do Fiji, you're able to do those things. Easy for you to say. How do and you said it earlier, you're like, look, some of the stuff that you're just going to have to go through, and you're going to have to realize that after the second, third car, it's really not that big of a deal. It is hard, I think, for the people that are in the pre-wealthy stage of their life to not, because they've hyper-focused on, I made it when I have the X fill in the blank.
The goalpost always moves. And by the way, let me be clear. Look right at the camera. When I talk about the fourth car, you won't feel anything, or the fourth watch, you won't feel anything, it's not from just Dan's experience. It's from a lot of the people that you watch on social media, a lot of people that you don't know, the billionaires and zillionaires, all of them, 100%, not 99%, across the board, all of them agree with me 100%. You will not have emotion or excitement about your fourth car and your fourth watch once you've had it for a few weeks. You'll get excitement the first day. I'm not saying you won't. It's fun at the dealership to pull the sticker off. The car smells good. When you get that watch and you're wearing it for the first week or two, I'm not saying you won't have that feeling. It will go away and you will feel empty after a month or so. Always, across the board. And not just me, a lot of people. So I understand what you're saying. Easy for Dan to say. By the way, I've only actually worn one watch since 2008. For 17 years, I wear that same watch. For 7 years, I didn't have a car. I Ubered everywhere. So while everyone's, oh, Dan's got Bentleys and Lamborghinis, no, I don't. I literally didn't have one car because I valued Uber and being on my phone the whole time and safety, and that's what I did. I don't have anything to impress people with when it comes to cars, watches, and things. I don't buy that stuff. I fly private here and there. Do you see me posting it? No. I'm not flexing on people. I don't want to flex on people. I want to inspire people. If some of my friends are on a private jet and they post it, will I reshare it? Sure. But am I going to post it in front of the picture jet? It's not going to happen. Because I'm not trying to rub wealth into people's faces. I'm trying to make them wealthy. I want them to be as rich as possible. I want them to be richer than me. I want them to be better than me at everything that I do. I want you to throw events better than me, open more sports car stores than me, open more restaurants than me, because that butterfly effect is way better for me. I want that to happen. And so the reason I want people to hear it is and I'm not telling them not to experience that one watch or one car. It's that I just know without a shadow of a doubt, no matter what, that fourth car, that fourth watch, you will become numb to. It's the same thing that's hard for us to hear from our parents. When your parents tells you not to smoke cigarettes. It's nasty, it smells bad, it tastes like they tell you all the bad things, but until your friend tells you, or until someone you look up to tells you, or until you go smoke the cigarettes and you realize how disgusting they are, people have to go try it. They're going to go try drugs, they're going to go try cigarettes, they're going to go get drunk at college, they're going to go throw up, they have to go have the hangover. People have to go through some of these things even when they hear from someone, unless they hear from someone that they truly respect.
But you don't have enough time in your life to go through all of those experiences. And I think that's the hardest part, like that, especially in the entrepreneur world, that no, I'm gonna hire my wife as my assistant, right? And you're like, I mean, to me,
Never.
No, I would never do that. But
She's not your wife anymore. She's a business person in your world.
Yeah.
She's your employee. It
Yeah.
changes the dynamic back home.
Yeah.
How can you then ask for normal life things? How can you want her to run over and hug you when you were just yelling at her about making the appointment late at 4:30 p.m.?
Yeah.
You're going to change your dynamics.
Yeah. And so I think it's more about outcome driven, that I don't think people look down the river far enough. And I think it's because they're focused on reaching 7 figures, reaching 8 figures, reaching 9 figures, whatever. But it's usually a recipe for disaster that I see. You know, entrepreneurs are still climbing the corporate ladder in a fashion or form way, and you know, it's like, hey, dude, it's like you got a super solid work-life balance, work-life harmony at 7 figures. Like, why do you have to get 8?
For sure.
And it's confusing. I'm like, I get it. When I'm around 180 degreer, as Ed Milet would say, and if I was a 90 degreer, I will be compelled to get to 120, 130 because I hang around with guys like yourself. Mm-hmm. But there's a certain level where if you don't learn from what you're actually trying to say instead of just what I'm trying to hear, it's a recipe for disaster, and I feel bad for people sometimes too. And I've done it myself. Don't get me wrong, but it sucks because especially when, as an example, COVID hits and people were way over leveraged. I mean, banks started shutting down the whole 9 yards. It's sad, but you know, again, hopefully they learn from it. Hopefully they can stay, you know, in the right mindset and move forward and not make the same mistake and admit that they were wrong, which I think is another hard part that people don't like doing. For me, I'm like, no, dude, please tell me where I'm wrong at. I need to know.
Sure.
When I left solar, you told me, dude, do not, if you're doing what you're doing, and you literally said, if you're as good as you say you are, do not stop selling solar. Mm-hmm. I stopped selling solar. And in the last 3 years, every company that I have, I've just been dumping money into it. I feel like I'm friggin' Tesla right now. Mm-hmm. In the early years of like, are we going to see a profit here? And it's taking a lot more money.
Well, because even when things work, you got to put more money back in.
Yeah.
That's what people don't realize. That's why I tell people I say don't quit your day job, meaning like don't stop selling solar, is to bring the cash flow in to fund your world, fund your life, fund your overhead. Because then, let's say, I'll give you a quick example. Mikey wants to start peach-colored clothing brand. Cool. He's like, I'm only going to go after peach colored. We're going to have a peach logo. It's going to be great. Everyone in Alabama's going to love it. Atlanta's going to love it. We're going to do this whole peach brand. And I said, okay, I'll put in $500K into Mikey's company. He goes and crushes and does 1.4 million sales the first year. How much does Mikey make? 0.
Nothing.
And he's now going to need bank loans. He's going to have credit cards. Because on 1.4 million gross, he spent $700,000 on production. He spent a couple $100,000 on paid ads. He spent $50,000 on his convention boots. Another $50,000 on travel. He hired 4 employees at $60,000 each, times 4 is $240,000. Paid taxes, hired more people, hired accountants, spent $100,000 on lawyers. Guess what? 1.4 million. It means he's probably in debt. I'm happy because he built up a valuation. 1.4 million gross means his company's worth $6 million to $8 million. Sweet. Dan got in at $2 million. I'm up 3 or 4x on my investment. In theory, it's obviously a valuation on paper. You're in debt and made nothing. Year 2, you crush it again. You double the sales, 2.8 million. Guess how much Mikey makes?
0.
It rhymes with 0. So even when things go good in your business, why does it rhyme with 0? Now he actually has more profit margin. On 2.8, he netted 18%. He crushed it. There's actually $350K to work with. What does he do? He puts all of that into more inventory of these peach sweaters and peach shirts and peach hats. Why? Because he'd be crazy not to. He's going to take it from 2.8 million to 6 million now because he put the money into inventory, spent more money on paid ads, hired more staff. It went from 4 employees to 11 employees. Even when you crush it, 1.4 million, 2.8 million, 6 million, then 15 million, Mikey's not going to make any money. He's going to pour it all back into the business. And so the point of that is, to keep your day job, what I talk about is, I want you to have money in the piggy bank. I want you to have money coming into you as a person to pay for life, kids, household, and things, so that the business, you can make the right decision. And the right decision is to keep investing back into the business.
Now, my struggle with that at the time, because I eventually started selling solar again. I just don't publicly talk about it, so this is the first time people know. But I built a 52.6% referral business. And so I'm not going to turn down free deals, obviously. A lot of them I would give to people in that area that I knew they didn't want to do it virtually, so I would give it to guys and I'd make a small rip on it. But if I didn't, I mean, I left that event. This is in California, and I left that event and I was like, no. Like, Dan, you don't get it. I want to leave the solar industry so bad.
Sure.
No, I'm not going to go sell solar again. I'm done with this. But within 6 months, I was technically selling solar again. So I've done probably, in the last couple of years in a row, 20 to 30 accounts a year, which is not a lot, but it was enough to keep me going.
Sure.
And one of the things that I've learned about investing, which we'll get into here shortly, but one of the things I learned about investing early on in my career was I learned from Tony Robbins, Money Master of the Game, is pay yourself first and don't raise your lifestyle until your passive income can pay for it. So the last year I was knocking doors full time, I had just over $18,000 a month in passive income. And at that point, that's about when I had met you. And I was like, Dan, like, I'm good, dude. Yeah. I'm good. Well, it's no longer $18,000 a month in passive income.
Sure.
And my burn rate's over 30,000.
Right. There you go.
And I just invested, just over $6,000, $6,500 a month last month. So I just added more on, and I'm dumping more into it. And I'm continually seeing the level of stress that I'm going through, and it's burying me. But I know that as long as I can continue to be a very good problem solver, awesome leader, inspire the people that are around me to go and integrate the craziness that I want to do, that it will work out. I just have to hold on long enough. It's the hold on for dear life situation with this, but it will work out. I'm convinced of it because I've seen it already happen. The stuff that I'm doing right now, people have already done. They've started a fund in their 20s. A lot of these billionaires, most of them, I'm a 3-time college dropout. I've been, sober from heroin for 11 and a half years now. Like, product of divorce, dump on my high school sweetheart. Everything that would be against me is the reason why now I'm actually at where I'm at, because I learned through personal development, self-mastery, to realize that those things were happening for me and not to me. And you say the same things a lot. I say the same things a lot too. That life is happening for me and not to me. And when you can realize that, you react differently. You don't, lash out at people or whatever and ruin a potential great relationship or a great person to connect you with somebody. And I wish more people would understand that at the end of your life, you're probably going to regret blowing up on certain things and not being able to say cool, calm, and collected in the pocket. Any final words on that? Let me switch to branding really quick, because I know we're about to run out of time. Why is branding so important?
So a human sees 3,500 logos and faces per day. We're bombarded by logos and brands. In this room, there's Fiji Water, there's Samsung, there's Sony, there's Polaroid, there's all these different things in this room. Right this second, there's Nike, there's Coca-Cola, there's Hermes, there's an Apple Watch, logo. We're seeing it, and we're bombarded by it from every angle. I just saw Starbucks over there, everywhere there's logos. Mm-hmm. And so the branding part is you have to stand out. And you have to be memorable. A lot of times people make their brand too fancy or too complicated or too kitschy or too niche. You need to be so clear-cut that when I see a Starbucks logo or I see a Fiji brand, I see Nike, I know what it is. And so You know what SolarCon is? You do, because it says Solar Convention, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what Solar Pros are? You know what Solar Sales are? Like, when you say the words, that's the brand. That is clear. But if it was called SC, I don't know what SC is. And so I keep seeing a lot of major brands change their name, and I'm like, oh my God, why would you do that? Why would you change your name to just initials? You're not that big. Even when you've been around for 50 years, you are nothing compared to how many brands you're up against.
Right.
And there's been household name chains in the food space that keep changing their name to just initials. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are, whew. So branding is mission critical because you have to do it to stand out. That's called the moat. The only way you can survive, the only reason that you're not overtaken by your competitors is your brand. The same thing applies with your personal brand. There are hundreds of thousands of people that sell solar. But there are only a few thousand that people know of, and there's only a few hundred that have names, and there's only a few dozen that are like, right, the guy or the girl. And so, in order to stand out and get booked to be the speaker, to get booked to be the person that gets hired as a consultant, to get asked to be the sales manager or whatever, is personal brand. And so your brand, whether it's business or personal, is mission critical because it is what makes you stand out on a consistent basis.
You've scaled over 40 brands and advertised hundreds. What's the number one common mistake young entrepreneurs make with their brand?
Being too fancy. They think that people know what their brand is when they're scrolling through social media or walking down a convenience store aisle or walking out a grocery store. We have no idea. Do you know when Ralph Lauren finally switched to RL or when Tommy Hilfiger switched to TH? It was like 80 years later. And even then, I don't like it. I prefer to wear the full name if I'm wearing a brand. The too fancy part is when people make their brand complicated or just initials or a logo that doesn't make sense. We don't know what that is. As we are bombarded by these logos and brands, and also we have ADD. Our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter and shorter in our society because of Instagram and TikTok and the way we consume social media and the news. If I showed you a long format tweet, most people won't read past the first paragraph. If you look at people's views on Instagram, by the way, someone's like, I got 1 million views. No, your first 4 seconds got 1 million views. Then it went down, then it went down, then it went down. And it'll show you the graph from 0 to 4 seconds, 4 to 9 seconds, 9 to 19 seconds, and you'll see the number get to almost 0 by the full video. So we think that people pay attention, but they don't. And so you need to be crystal clear of exactly what you are and who you are, and this fancy stuff is not it.
It's a big problem from the industry that we were, again, the SolarCon that we were just at. And one of the big owners of Freedom came up and said, you know, this is a problem. You're posting about all this money that you're making, the whole whatever Big Check Friday thing. It is a problem. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I know why. I get it, but people would leave your company to go make $1 more an hour because the recruiting side of the solar side, and even in other businesses, is it's not more about purpose driven or fulfillment driven or cause driven. It's more about how much money am I going to make because I believe that money is going to solve my deepest, darkest issues. You've built trust with billionaires, rappers, and broke dreamers, they added. What is your non-negotiable when it comes to relationships?
Blunt communication. I want to know the good, bad, and ugly. If you and I talk, and I talk to you about hard stuff, lawsuits, divorce, friends leave you, business partner changes on you, you will trust me more. You will like me more, and we have a deeper bond. If I only talk to you about, hey, look at my 6 watches, hey, bro, I did $30 million in sales, blah, blah, blah. If I just tell you the facetious things or the, everything's great things, we won't have an emotional relationship. It'll just be an ego thing, right? Now we're competing and talking about, oh, you raised $3 million? I raised 6. Like, compared to, I was trying to raise $3 million, but my paperwork took too long. My lawyers, I had to switch lawyers. I was talking to this investor. They kept ghosting me. They promised they were going to put in $500K, and then they just don't respond for 2 months. You'll be emotionally connected to me more, right? If I talk to you about the hard stuff. And so communication to me, blunt communication to me is how I build relationships. I want to know about the hard stuff, and I want to talk about the hard stuff. I don't need to talk to you about the good stuff. That you're not going to really help me much with that, and you're not going to really care about that. And it sounds like you're bragging, compared to when we talk about reality of situations with relationships and people and things and companies and hard stuff and health and hey, are you working out this much? And oh, you're doing cold plunges. This what machine are you using? Compared to, oh yeah, I bought a $6,000 cold plunge machine. Why? How? When do you do it? Where did you put it in your house? Is it leak? Like, talking about the details of those things, that's how you build a relationship.
I love that. Your book, one of your books, Starting a Brand for less than $1,000. Can you summarize that?
Yeah. So we actually don't need money to build a social media brand or a personal brand. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, and Threads are free, and free. You don't need money there. Everyone listening to this is listening on a laptop or a computer or an iPod or AirPods or an iPhone or a Samsung, an Android. So you have a really nice camera. All the apps are free. You're in a car right now or in the gym or in the house, make a picture, make a video. You're at the office, make a picture, make a video. It's free, literally free. The $1,000 number could actually be zero. I could have wrote the book, How to Set Up Your Personal Brand, for $0. I just said 1,000 because there's some things you could go buy, right? You could spend money on some things if you wanted to, completely unnecessary. There's 15-year-old kids that have hundreds of thousands of followers that makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a month from their cell phones. There's not a theory, and there's not one or two kids. There's tens of thousands of them from their cell phones. There's children that are 4 years old making tons of money on social media. There's 92-year-old grandma I paid $650,000 to. She's 92 years old in a hospital bed and she cannot walk. I paid her $650,000 for social media posts. You have no excuse to build a personal brand. She's doing it from a hospital bed. You can do it from anywhere in the world.
I love that. Let me transition really quickly into, because branding and social media is obviously we can go on and on and on about, because that's, guys just pull the camera out. Don't worry about the views. Stop being a view-driven person. Just post, and eventually you'll get it. You'll get the hang of it eventually. I want to talk to you about some investing stuff, because I've invested in quite a few of your deals. Can you go through like your criteria of your quarterback, or as you say, the jockey? Can you go through some of the criteria when you're doing due diligence on the operator, the jockey, as you say, or the quarterback? What are some of those things? Are you, picking apart their Instagram? Are you asking people about, does this person one way on TV or one way on social media and one way behind closed doors? How do you find things that work and things that don't?
I don't invest in anyone's company that I wouldn't go to dinner with willingly. Like I would, if I'm in their city, I want to go to dinner with them.
Yeah.
Because investing takes 5 to 7 years on average. So I've got to like the person.
Yeah.
There's 4 main things I look for when investing into a company. And definitely before I ever bring it to my elevator syndicate or mastermind members. One is the founder. Is this person ride or die? Will this person go to the convention booth at 11:40 p.m. at night to fix something? Will that person then fly the next day right after the convention and go to the next city to go to a sales meeting and then fly back for a design meeting? Are they ride or die? Do they care about this thing that much? Number 2, does anybody else care? Right? Just because we like the product or our grandma likes the product because we told her about it, does anybody else care? We can do that because I only invest in companies doing at least $2 million in sales. People vote with their wallets. So I know that people cared because at least $2 million was spent on this product. Third thing, can this product sell out in the wild without the founders, executives, and sales team? Can it sell on a shelf, on a website, somewhere where someone walking by or someone scrolling through will buy that product without someone telling them to buy it? Because if they can't sell it in the wild when people aren't around, it's not truly scalable. Fourth thing is, can they back up what they've told me? So entrepreneur says, oh yeah, we're getting into all the Whole Foods. I'm really excited. My drink's getting into all the Whole Foods. Okay, well, remember the 4 horsemen? My lawyer, my accountant, my mentor, and my CEO? They're going to then say, okay, show me the order for Whole Foods. Well, I met the Whole Foods buyer at a party. We're actually got a meeting next Wednesday, and he said he really liked the product. That is not an all-store buy. That is not a purchase order. That's not an invoice. That is just someone that, and again, the entrepreneur might be doing it because they're just passionate or excited, but that is not on paper. And so those 4 things are, do I believe they're ride or die? Does anybody care? Can it sell in the wild? And can they back it up?
Love that. One of the things you taught me years ago was sell your product, make your money, and find things that you're passionate in and invest into them. If you wouldn't eat it, if you wouldn't drink it, if you wouldn't sleep on it, if you wouldn't wear it, don't invest into it. And I see that with the young entrepreneurs, the young, the people that are listening to this, they get so passionate. They hear you speak on stage last night and they go, oh my God, I gotta go. You didn't talk about real estate as much actually, but You're like, I gotta go buy my first property. They listen to whatever, Grant Cardone or somebody, and like, I gotta flip my own for my first property. That is such a distraction. I wish people would get that. So why is it better for someone? A lot of the people that listen obviously are in the solar space or the door space, or they're up and coming. Why is it more important for them to go and become an expert in that field and be good at one thing for the 10 years? Like, Andy Frisella, same concept. Those guys, they were one thing. They were focused on one thing and getting that done. We want, like everyone talks about, it's a bumper sticker. It's always fun to talk about on stage. Multiple streams of passive income, multiple streams of income. Why is it important to continue to have that money coming in, and then why is it important to find people that you can invest in and give them your money so that you can become better at your craft? If you're hitting baseballs, you shouldn't be, and you're a baseball player, you shouldn't be trying to go and flip houses.
The main thing is the dummy tax.
Yeah. Oh.
If I go try to invest into something like a fix and flip house, and I want to go do my first one, and Cole Hatter wants to go do an investment, the same exact budget. So I've got $70K and he's got $70K. We both buy the same $300K property. We're going to put $70K into it, try to sell it for $450 to $500. Okay? We both have the same mission: $300K property, $370 all in, try to sell for $450 to $500. That'd be cool. And try to do it in 4 to 8 months. Well, I'm probably going to take a year, right? Because I'm going to go on Google, general contractor Las Vegas. Cole's going to text his friend, who's been his general contractor for 1,100 properties. Hey, Marcus, can you come over here? We're going to start tomorrow at 8 a.m. Get your team together. I got the budget for you. It's $50K. I said 70. He says 50. I'm going to go to general contractor. Oh, Marcus. And I call Marcus. Hello, Marcus? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll come over there next week. We'll get started. We probably need like 100K, 150K. Why? Well, Cole's done it with him over and over and over. He's getting costs better, supplies better, vendors better. Every single detail of the property is going to be better. The painter's going to be better. Painter's going to charge him 12 grand. He's going to charge me 16 grand. Why? Because he worked with him over and over and over and over. I'm paying the dummy tax on every little thing on that fix and flip. All of it. Everything. It's going to take longer, be more expensive, be wrong. I'm going to go to Home Depot and just buy everything off the shelf because I don't know. Should I get blue paint or no? There's 80 different blue paints. He knows exactly what blue paint to get. He does it every single time, 1,100 times. So I should make money in my core business and give it to guys like Cole Hatter. Let them go fix and flip. And the percentage you pay someone that runs a fund or does the fix and flip is irrelevant compared to the dummy tax. The dummy tax can cripple you.
Yeah, people don't want to. Not that they don't want to, but they want to do it themselves, and I've seen so many founders and really solid entrepreneurs just get distracted. I've got a guy right now that I'm coaching, and phenomenal dude's award-winning sales rep, and he just started a clothing brand, and he's like, I'm gonna buy this $1,000 printing press or shirt press, whatever, and I'm like, bro, just drop ship everything. There's companies that will do all of that for you. Yeah, you're gonna make less money, but how much time are you going to be spending? And the guy bought the printing press, and he's how much solar has he sold in the last 3 weeks?
Much less.
Probably none, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. And so how much money is he losing?
Of course.
Just because it's sad. It's sad. The dummy tax, people don't take that in consideration, and I learned that from, again, very successful people like yourself, and that's why I was like, I am not an expert in real estate. I will find someone, again, like Cole, and I've given hundreds of thousands of dollars to Cole, and said, Cole, you're a real estate guy. Mm-hmm. I'm an energy guy. You're a real estate guy. Here's my money. I look forward to seeing the emails.
Yep.
And sometimes I don't even see them, to be honest with you. It's just nice to get a paycheck here and there. I'm like, oh, cool, sweet. You're involved in angel investing, crypto, real estate, consumer brands. How did you decide what game to play next?
It's just situations timing-wise. There's certain waves where things are hot or interesting, or they got better, the dynamics got better, the people got better, or I found a person or a thing to attach myself to. I just got into the mortgage industry. I started Elevator Mortgage. It's always been around. I just thought that interest rates are going to come down, and a lot of hard struggle happened the last 2 years. A lot of mortgage companies faded away. A lot of mortgage brokers switched to other jobs. So there's less competition, less interest rate, and the people that were doing it the last couple of years that faded away, they're probably not going to jump back in. And so that seemed like an interesting thing. So I started Elevator Mortgage, found a CEO who she's done it for 20 years, and that's how I started it. Started the business loan company, Elevator Funding. Business loans happened for 100 years. However, interesting time in the market. A lot of people got crushed during COVID. The business loans went through the roof. So I partnered with a company. They'd done $9 billion in loans, and they do it in the back end for me. And so I started Elevator Funding. And so I find things when the timing is right for them, and I put my name and brand on it.
Is that through reading? Like, how do you find the micro trends, or the macro trends, or the micro trends? Like, how do you identify those, and what are you looking for?
I immerse myself in the internet. So I'm inside of social media. I'm inside of rooms. I'm at conventions. I'm at conferences. I'm backstage. I'm sitting front row listening. I'm aware of what's going on so that when things come up, otherwise I don't know about interest rates going down. I don't know that lots of people left the mortgage industry if I'm not there in the room. And so I go to masterminds. I speak at events. I'm on social media. I'm on the news. I'm immersing myself to know what's going on in the world so that I can make my move when the time is right.
I've been telling a lot of people recently to be countercultural, because everyone that follows me, and they all knock doors to buy doors, real estate and all that. And I no longer want to be a landlord. I want to be the lender.
Great.
And I've only learned that from, I didn't even know I could do that, first of all, until I started to be around guys like you. And I'm glad to hear that you started the mortgage company. That's phenomenal. I was like, oh, that's so dope. I'm on the right track. I don't want to be the landlord anymore. Because who always gets paid? When the tenant doesn't pay, who always gets paid?
The lawyers?
Them too. The bank gets, not always gets paid, but you get the point. They get paid more often.
And they hold the asset, yeah.
Yeah, and not only that, yeah, they have the lien on the asset itself too. But you have all these people that, all this marketing around, and the guys that you and I hang out with that start your flipping, go buy your first property. And it's funny because I talk to them behind closed doors, and I'm like, hey, like, is this just to sell a course, or is this to get attention, get eyeballs? Because it doesn't appear that that's what you're actually doing. And I get it, and I've gotten some answers, and that's what really opened my mind to, the secondaries market, the private credit market, where I don't want to be an investor anymore. I want to be a lender. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm obviously still investing, but and when it comes to real estate, I've been telling people, and it's like, when I say don't be an investor, be a lender, because who always gets paid is the bank, it's worked for me in the last 7-8 months. That it's cooler to see lender on your Instagram profile bio than it is investor, because everyone has investor. But when you say lender, and they assume automatically you have the money for it. And I don't know, I thought that was a cool nugget that I've been really leveraging recently, to get people to think outside of this traditional stocks, 401ks, gold, crypto, so on and so forth, as being a lender, which I actually have loans. I'm the bank on almost all of my real estate right now that I personally own.
Cool.
And I want to do more.
Sure.
I want to do more and more and more. I want to. One of my old mentors, Mickey Griffin, the guy that his hard money lender is his lender, that guy lived a lifestyle that dwarfed what Mickey lived. And I didn't understand it, but again, there's levels to the game of money that I never would have understood unless you, like you said, the butterfly effect, opened up years ago, and I got exposed to you. I would have never known about those different levels of money. You know, it's like the guy that meme that like the person standing on, you know, standing against like this really large brick wall, and then the next guy is standing on books. It's like buying my way into rooms. I've been blessed with doing very well in solar to be able to buy my way in rooms that you're speaking in. And I got to give you all the credit, bro. Like, yes, I did the work, I don't know, whatever, but I didn't believe that I could actually get to where I'm at now. And I'm just getting started. I mean, I just rebranded everything, right? Because I was like, you know, the sales coach, sales guy, whatever, to now someone that helps people with their finances. And it's a passion of mine. And most of it I do for free.
Yep.
Most of it I do for free. And one of the main reasons why I do it is because the leading cause of divorce is money and sex. And I always tell people, look, I can't help you with the sex part, but I can definitely help you with the money part. And if I can lower the divorce rate, that will actually keep, you know, the family nucleus back together.
I love it. Yeah.
And if we can do that, the minority groups, right, that I come from, you know, those kids will have in theory, in practice, a better life, and with their dad staying in the home, instead of, you know, having men that just jump around because they are ungrateful that, you know, their wife has gained some weight or whatever.
Is it 11 o'clock yet?
Yeah. I'm about to this last couple questions here, brother. What is one piece of financial advice or financial education that you wish every 20-something-year-old would tattoo on their forehead?
Just get started. Like, doing that first small investment, $500 into Bitcoin and $500 into Apple stock and $1,000 into this and $200 in that, just like doing that on a consistent basis and taking a percentage of what you're earning and doing that over and over and over, oh my God. Especially the people in your industry that are making money, like, if you're throwing $500 here, $1,000 here, $200 here, $500 here, over and over and over, you will literally have millions of dollars later. Like, actually, with nothing special happening. Just buying Apple stock and Walmart stock and Netflix stock and Facebook stock and S&P 500 and Bitcoin. Just like $500 here, $1,000 here. If you guys are going making $4,000 commission, all right, throw $200, $400. I'm not saying put half your money every time. If you could, that'd be great. Sure. But if you're just deploying money all the time and not withdrawing it, all the guys in the industry would be millionaires, like actual millionaires, when they become adults.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad to see over and over and over again. I see people just blowing their money, and I've done that too. But I like to say you're investing into experiences, but you need to learn from them. Last question here, Dan. If you could install just one belief in every entrepreneur listening right now, what would it be and why?
To be relentless. You're gonna go through hard stuff no matter what. Every morning that Elon Musk wakes up, and Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, and all the people that we look up to that are bazillionaires and trillionaires, go through hard stuff. And once you realize that you're going to go through hard stuff, you're going to get situations with friends and family members and business and vendors and people owing you money, all the things, you'll stay calm in the chaos. But the people that win are the ones that are relentless. People that fight through it day in, day out, over and over and over, they're the ones that persevere. And we've watched this happen time and time again in social media, in business, movie actors, singers. The reason that certain rappers and singers are still here 20, 30 years later after their one-hit wonder is they just were relentless. Nelly's still performing every single week around the world. His songs were 20 years ago. There's thousands and tens of thousands of other artists that had songs 20 years ago that if they all walked in here together, you couldn't name any of them, right? Any of them. But Nelly and T.I. and a lot of these rappers and musicians, Boyz II Men and Babyface and Brian McKnight, are still performing 20 and 30 years later because they are relentless. Brian McKnight still performs every single week around the world, even though his majority of his main hits were 20, 30 years ago, because he's relentless. And the songs are amazing. You can do that in your career, your business, your passion, your hobby. If you just do the thing every single day, over and over and over, you will beat everyone else because everyone else is lazy.
Sounds like you need to just get out there and get after it. Surround yourself with good people, sharpen your axe, learn from your mistakes, and wake up earlier, stay up later than everybody else. Dan, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for jumping on, and let's get you to the airport.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.